guys, Dr. Johnny Earls here from Human Function and Performance. I'm jumping on here today to help you get rid of that issue you have with getting your shoulder up over your head, with that block that you feel in your shoulder or that low back pain that you might feel whenever you're lifting heavy stuff. Now, the first thing I gotta tell you is that the things you found on YouTube are probably just wasting your time. All of the bands in the rig and all the stretches for your shoulder, if they don't apply to you specifically, and you don't know that they apply to you specifically by going through an assessment process that says you need this, you're probably going to end up wasting some time. So in this video today, we're going to talk quickly about why your shoulder will be limited going up overhead, how you can identify that that is the cause of your shoulder limitation, and then a few progressions of exercise to not just get rid of the shoulder limitation, but then train your body to not start building it back up again. Enjoy, guys. All right, guys, I've drawn a couple pictures for us so we can understand shoulder flexion a little bit better, so we can identify if it's a shoulder problem or maybe something else. So on top here, we have somebody standing looking straight ahead with their arm at 90 degrees of shoulder flexion. That's 90 degrees from the side of the body to straight ahead in respect to the body, okay? Now, what we see all the time is that if somebody's limited with shoulder range of motion, they're gonna bring their arm up, and once they get to a certain level, they're gonna stop flexing at the shoulder and start extending at the back. But that's still the same amount of shoulder flexion or shoulder range of motion as if when your back is not extended. So if that's your issue, then you need to identify that specifically. Lay down on the floor, put your back flat on the ground, bring your shoulder up overhead, and see if your arm touches the ground without your back extending. If it doesn't, you need this first exercise. All right, so we think we have a shoulder range of motion limitation. We can check that, as I mentioned before, by laying flat on our back, bringing the arm overhead, and if my ribs don't move, I should probably have enough. If my ribs pull up, I don't have enough. So how do we resolve that? Well, first of all, we need to bring our shoulders up overhead to where we can keep our back flat. And then we need to find a way to get our back flat as the shoulder goes higher. It should look something like this. Now, as you can see, that is a shoulder range of motion exercise, but I'm not just yanking on the shoulder joint. Instead, I'm stabilizing the core to give the shoulder the safety to go fully up overhead. Now, what do you do if you're in tall kneeling and you can't stop your back from extending? Or even worse, your shoulder hurts when you go all the way up overhead? Well, you got options. You can take yourself out of tall kneeling and into half kneeling. That reduces the demand on your abs, glutes, and hamstrings and makes it easier to hold the stacked core position. And if your shoulder hurts, then shorten the range through which you can keep your shoulder muscles engaged properly and keep it pain-free. So, something like this, a landmine half kneeling press. Same thing with the abs, press. Now once you've trained yourself to be able to hold your core stacked and press your shoulders all the way up overhead with your quads in a long position and your back in a long position, it's time to start loading it up again in that position that you want to be, like a standing overhead press. Now this is a good time to mention that a max lift is not the most amount of weight that you can possibly pick up and push over your head. A max lift is the most amount of weight you can do without breaking form. So once you build it back up, it should look more like this. Rather than I really hope you guys got a lot out of this today. If you got any questions, shoot me a DM. Feel free to ask. I'm always happy to help.